All right, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. All right, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Brakatha Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim Harakakwadash. Shalom Wabarakim. La Bakayarim Yasha'ala. Washini Kabag Gawala Wakab. Tukuni Nawa. Waha Shalayakim Nawa. Yasha'ala Ba'aith. All right, what I just said was the ancient Hebrew language. Zakwan, well, how would you say that? Zakwan Ibaria Lashwan, which means the ancient Hebrew language. Lashwan Qudash, the holy tongue. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel, and double honors to our elders and apostles of Israel coming back in the reincarnation, because reincarnation does exist. All right, and they've been named as Great Millstone. All right, those are true elders of Israel, rulers of Israel in these times. All right. Now this video is going to be called Sawapah WaSairah. All right, Sawapah WaSairah, which means storm and tempest. All right, it means storm and tempest. It's Isaiah 29, and I'm just going to go through some scriptures and connect with what's going on in the world today, because that's our job. Because the Lord's turning up, so we got to deliver the turn up. You know, we got to deliver the turn up of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, so Isaiah 29:6, it says, Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and with great noise, and with storm, and with tempest. All right, and the flame of devouring fire. So this is the Lord controls all these things. You know, a lot of things, sometimes things happen on the earth and things play out, and people think that it's wickedness prevailing. You know, it's wickedness or some type of evil, which sometimes it can be perceived as evil. But those who believe in the scriptures, if you call yourself a Bible believer, you have to understand that the Lord is ultimately controlling, all right, the Sa'ira, if you will. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. So the Lord creates darkness. When people are distressed or they're down in the dumps, the Lord created a spirit for people to feel like that. When evil things happen, which evil means bad times, the Lord created those bad times. All right? So when we go back to Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise and with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. All right, so again, the Hebrew word for storm is sawapah. All right, sawapah, sawapah, which means stormy wind. All right, it appears as a whirlwind in the scriptures 11 times, storm 3 times, the Red Sea once, and tempest once. All right, let me get this other Hebrew word, and I'm gonna get some more precepts. Debar Ibaria, which means Hebrew word. Tempest is sa'ir. The root word is sa'ir, tempest, whirlwind. It comes up as whirlwind, tempest, stormy, storm, and whirlwind. All right, so let me just get this article here. It says 10 of the deadliest natural disasters in 2021. Now, the Lord said that he was going to visit the earth with whirlwinds, all right, with natural disasters, if you will. So the number one was in Haiti, which was in August. They said it killed 2,248 Levites, all right, or people in general. But it hit the island where Levi, the tribe of Levi, would be prophesied to be at, which is spiritual, that Haiti is number one on the list for the worst natural disasters for this past year. This is First Peter, the book of First Peter 4:17. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. So the house of the Lord was the temple where he decided to put his name, where the sacrifices are given, where the customs and the ordinances were supposed to be given out. That's the house of the power. And that Levi occupied that house. All right. And it says, and if it first begin with us, this is where the judgment's starting there. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end of be? What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel or the good word, the gospel or the good words of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So it's very spiritual, right? If you can discern that number one on the list for deadliest natural disasters in 2021 was Haiti, with 2,248 people dead. The second one, and it was in December, all right, last month, where a super typhoon killed 375 people in the Philippines. All right, in July, two times in July in 2021, there were floods that killed 302 people in China and 200 people in Germany. All right, so again, this is the Lord's doing. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise and the storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And people, they see these things happen, but they can't connect the dots. All right, they can't connect the dots. They can foresee. Sometimes people, they could see these storms and stuff coming, and they still don't get away. We know that these are judgments of the Lord and that He's on His way back. These are signs for the elect to say, you know what, the Lord is not playing. It's time to get your act right before you get swept off with one of these storms and tempests. I know right now on the East Coast, a huge, not huge, this is really light, storm came. It was snowing and then it was icing, you know. But a real snowstorm, like a real storm is going to last. Snowstorm is going to last for at least 3 days, you know, just snowing nonstop. You know, that's what I look at it as, you know. But this is Luke 12:54. And he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the east, straightway you say, there cometh a shower, and so it is, right? So people can discern and manifest and know what's going on based on signs. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? And the time that he's talking about is the time, I'll read the next verse. Yea, and why even of yourselves judge ye not what is right? Right, so a lot of people in all these articles, like the article I'm reading, and all the news that you hear about this volcano that went off called Tonga, you don't hear nothing about God. You don't hear nothing about His Son, Yahweh Shai. Even if the world says Jesus Christ, you don't hear anything about the Bible or anything that has to do with the scriptures or spirituality related to the volcano that went off, you know? And it looked like a nuke. You know, it looked like a nuke went off. That was the power of the Lord. All right, number 5 on the top 10 list was in April 2021, a cyclone. All right, it killed 222 people. And then the number 6 was in October, where floods and landslides killed 201 people in India, which is Elam. All right, it's Elam. I'm gonna start saying these nations according to the scriptures. All right, number 7, 7th on the list was in May 2021, where a cyclone killed 200 more people in Elam, or India. And then number 8, it was in August of last year, where Hurricane Ida, I remember that one, it killed 91 people in the States. And they say that the United States is the one continent on earth that has the worst natural disasters. All right, so we're expecting something big, lots of big things to happen here. December 2021, last month, 2 times last month, a tornado killed 90 people across the U.S., which that's kind of weird that tornado season lasted all the way up until December, unless that's normal, and I just don't know. But I thought tornado season ended in late October, November. But again, number 10 on the list, 2021, volcano erupted in Indonesia and killed 45 people. So this is the Lord's doing. You know, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, with earthquake, with great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. But the main point is the storm and tempest. The Lord is amping that up right now. Matthew 24 and 3. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, what shall these things be? When shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of the coming and of the end of the world? Now, the disciples, they knew that That wasn't talking about the whole inhabitable earth, you know, like when Yahweh Shah is going to come back and destroy the earth and then no kingdom is going to be established. They knew, all right, they knew when he says the end of the world, it was talking about a changing of times, you know, right? Back then in that time, you had the Roman Empire. Israel was just a state. You know, you had the United States. That's why this is an extension of the Roman Empire. There was a state that was governed and controlled by the Roman Empire. All right, now when we look up that word world in the Greek, all right, turn this up.
Strong's G 165. Ion. Ion.
Right, so ion or eon, which means forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity, the world's universe, period of time, age. That's the answer right there. All right, period of time and age. So when the disciples asked them, "And what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of this age?" Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, "Take heed that no man deceive you." Right, because Esau, what he'll have you think is that there is no Yahweh Shah, that he doesn't matter, and he's not coming back. You know, just put on your Oculus goggles and live in the metaverse. That's going to be your heaven. You know, that's deceptive. You know, saying that we have there's an unknown disease out there, but we have the cure when they have patents for these things. All right. So they're feeding you with fluff, and that goes into the churches too. Well, they only just give motivational speeches. They're not bringing out the judgments of the Lord. They're not telling people that, hey, people are dying because the Lord is killing them. They can't say that to their congregations. All right. So they have to deceive them in order to keep that cash flow. All right, that popularity, that 501c3 up to standards. All right, and that also goes for Israelites with their wayward doctrines. ISUPK, IUIC, these other sects of Israel. Yahweh Shai warned us. It said, take heed, which is shamar in the Hebrew. Shamar doesn't mean just watch. You have other English words for shamar. Take heed is one of them. Guard is one of them. Observe is one of them. When you read Revelation 1 and 3, blessed is he that heareth and that readeth and heareth these words and keep the things that are written therein. Keep is another thing, another word for shamar. So Yahweh Shah told us, shamar, all right, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. So why did the Lord, usually when people hear of wars and rumors of wars, they get upset. You know, they want peace. They want to go protest and stop it. The Lord's telling us not to be troubled, all right? Because for one, he controls the war. And we know that he's our savior, so that means he can control what happens to us in relation to that war. So, and our goal is to push that energy, all right, that the Lord Yahweh is a man of war. And the way that you say war or battle in the Hebrew is lachama, all right, lachama, which means to fight. For all things must, all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence. And that's going on right now. The food prices are going up, all right? Your employer is not going to give you a raise because food prices are going up, you know? And that's going to cause famines. It's going to cause food shortages, which in turn is going to cause race riots, all right? Because there's going to be a lot of tension. I know me, when I get hungry, I get upset. You know what I mean? Going to lie. When people are hungry, they get upset. You know, they start thinking, you really start thinking more clearly, all right? Just like when you fast, when you withhold your body from eating, your mind becomes more clear, all right? You might be upset for a little bit, but you understand that, hey, I'm fasting. This is for the betterment of myself, you know? But when you're just hungry, you know, and you're not fasting, you can get upset. A lot of people get upset. Go a day and a half, 2 days without feeding your dog, and see how your dog acts. That's how these people are gonna act when the famines start to increase. It says, and pestilences, and we already see that. They got something out here called the flu-rona. All right, the flu and the corona done merged together somehow. You know, falsehood, Fauci, that's what he's saying. So we already know what the deal is with pestilences. It says, in earthquakes in diverse places. Now, where this Let me go on the map. Where this volcano went off was underwater, bro. Mashapaka, which means family. Mashapaka means family. This thing went off in the Pacific Ocean, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let me click on maps. Yeah, this thing is way out in the middle of nowhere, and they teach you in school, if you know anything about geography, from Japan down to Papua New Guinea, from Australia, over to South America, up to Central and North America, Alaska, over to Russia and the Bering Sea. That perimeter, all right, that perimeter of continents around there are, they call it the Ring of Fire. All right, so there's a bunch of volcanoes out there. And that's what the Lord's doing. He's causing these diverse places earthquakes to happen by way of volcano eruptions. All right, some of it might be due, in part, of course, because of Esau's destroying the earth, or maybe he's using a harp. But either way, who's using Esau? Who's controlling the man who's using harp? You know what I'm saying? Who's controlling the man who's oil fracking? It's the Lord. It's the Lord that's got Esau in these remote ass places, digging under the ocean. So ultimately, it's the Lord causing the earthquakes in these diverse places, and He has every right to, because He's Yahweh. All right, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now, what's going on? That tsunami effect. If anybody gets wiped out with it, which I personally believe they're hyping it up, but we'll see what happens. It might cause some flooding and stuff, but I don't. When I hear tsunami, and I think about what the Lord's bringing, I'm thinking of San Andreas, you know what I mean? Where the water is up to the 34th floor in the building, when he was on that boat cruising through. When I hear tsunami, I'm thinking, 15 foot, 20 feet and higher, So we'll see what happens. But even if the Lord brings that, Psalms 105:4, He is the Lord our power, His judgments are in all the earth. So what goes on in the earth is all controlled by the Lord. And all right, Bakal ha'aratizah, which means in all the earth. So that's what the Lord's doing. All right, right now you can hear the wind whipping. There's a lot of people out there. All right, there's a lot of people who the Lord put out on odds end because they've been wicked. So now they're out here. They got to deal with the elements. There's a lot of people who may suffer shipwreck, like those people on 95 who got caught in that storm. A lot of people got sick because of that. You got to stay in your cold ass whip. A lot of those people had a quarter tank of gas left. You know what I'm saying? How long can your car run and you're stuck out there? These people aren't thinking about bug out bags. They think about balling out, YOLO. Which everybody, I was telling the brothers at the camp, if you have a vehicle, in your vehicle, you should keep an emergency blanket, a pillow, maybe some indestructible matches, a bottle of water, some Band-Aids. You keep regular, some emergency kit, not just stuff for the whip, but for yourself, just in case. You never know. You may get shipwrecked. You may have to pull over to the side or something. You may have to stay a night in your whip or 2 nights in your whip. That's just regular preparedness, I had that stuff before I came to the truth. Because judgment's going out. And again, it's the Lord who's controls it. He creates light and creates darkness. Yahweh do all these things. So again, Psalms 105:7. He is the Lord our power. His judgments, Yahweh Elohayanawa, His judgments are in all the earth. Another one about His judgments being righteous. You can't say that something happened, no matter how bad it was, and it wasn't righteous. All right, even us going into slavery, the things that we went through physically and are now going through mentally in this captivity, this is the Lord's doing. You don't think the Lord sees us here upset, catching all complete hell, but at the same time, it's righteous. All right, Psalms, Tahoyim 19:19. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. Read that again. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. All right. The judgments. Give me 1 second. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. All right, the judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. So again, on that top 10 list, 2,200 people died in Haiti in August. Well, according to the scriptures, which a lot of them Haitians are wicked as hell and they into all types of witchcraft. But the ones who are into the scriptures, which is also witchcraft, are into Catholicism. All right, they believe in the Lord, but they all got jacked up. And guess what? The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. So you can't say what he did to Haiti in August of 2021 was wicked. No, that was a righteous kill. All right, Tazadak Harag, which means a just kill. All right, or Tazadak Mawaf, all right, which means a just death. So let me read a little bit of this here. It says Tonga tsunami anxious wait for news after Tonga cut off. So this volcano went off one time, but then it went off a second time. All right, and it registered a 7.4 on the Richter scale. All right, it says Tongans living overseas are facing an anxious await for news of loved ones after a volcano triggered a tsunami. The underwater volcano erupted on Saturday about 65 kilometers or 40 miles north of the capital, Nuku'alofa. The eruption, which was heard as far as the U.S., caused waves higher than a meter to crash into Tonga. The authorities have not confirmed any deaths, but communications are crippled, making it difficult to establish the scale of destruction. And that's what's coming to Babylon, the United States. All right, storm and tempest, Sawapah WaSairah, which means storm and tempest, and it's going to be so big. You got to understand the catastrophe, something, whether Esau does it or not, it's going to be so bad that that's what's going to happen. Just like on 9/11, all right, the airways were crippled. You couldn't call nobody. Even when that earthquake hit, I always use this example. An earthquake hit the DMV area, we all felt it. And I got on the phone. I'm trying to call this elder brother Kasab. Like, yo, we got to go out to camp. You know what I'm saying? We got to speak on this earthquake the day the earthquake happened. You know, we was hype. And I couldn't get through to him. But the Spirit had it where the frequency opened up and I was able to get in contact with Kasab, man. We went out with the Akim. We went out there and did the work the day the earthquake hit. You know? Because you get excited. The Lord said, be not troubled. All right? And we're not going to be troubled. That's pretty much it, you know. Just wanted to bring out some points that the Lord is controlling that Tonga, that volcano, and all the volcanoes. More volcanoes are going to go off. All right, now what we're waiting for is earthquakes that go past 7.4. We need 9.4s, 10.4s, 11.4s. All right, we need tsunamis. We need tsunamis the size of skyscrapers, you know. What's going to happen with the San Andreas Fault? What's going to happen with the Hoover Dam? All right. Maybe the Lord will send an earthquake in the Great Lakes up near Michigan, and all them lakes, all that water will come up out them lakes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a dam will break. Maybe Niagara Falls, all the rocks will fall out of Niagara Falls. Who knows what the Lord can do, man? All right, the Lord is all powerful. All right, I'm going to read this one more time. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord Yahweh are true, by Hashem Yahushai, and righteous altogether. All right. So that's pretty much it. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Edified through the Spirit. Say shalom to elect, and double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, Shabbat shalom, shalom, shalom to everyone. Comment board.